So our next series is going to be on the Ten Commandments because I'm trying to decide how much of this you care about, why I chose this. Honestly, it's because I'm going through a faith formation process with um, six members of Edgewater. They're kind of part of a pilot program. Um, and we're walking through daily devotions together, and then we meet once a week to talk through them. And side note, if that's something that sounds interesting to you, that you're like, I'd love to do that, to walk through daily devotions, and then meet once a week with me to talk through what you see, how it touches your life. Um, let me know. Let me know that you're interested. Uh, Shameless plug. But part of these devotions are the Ten Commandments, and I thought, well, that's a neat little series. Let's just do that. So we're gonna start. This is in Deuteronomy. It is in chapter 5. You can find the Ten Commandments in a couple different places in the Old Testament, but we're gonna operate out of Deuteronomy chapter 5, and at verse 6 it says, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. And it starts with, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, who brought you out of slavery, out of the house of slavery. So that when this commandment, the first commandment that we know, you shall have no other gods before me. So when that commandment comes, they know exactly who this God is. He is the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and Jacob, who brought them out of Egypt, who eventually brings them into the promised land, who sends his judges and his prophets and his kings to take care of his people, Israel. This is the God that you are to have, and you are to have no other gods before me. And we say, well, what does it mean to have another God? And Martin Luther, a theologian who started the Reformation, that if the Lutheran Church kind of was born out of, not kind of, it was born out of. Luther said it means that you fear, love, and trust God above all else. Because when we say, well, I don't have any other gods, like it's not like you're worshiping Zeus or Poseidon or Thor or Chris Hemsworth. Um, like we don't necessarily have that pantheon of gods anymore. But that almost makes it more nefarious, because it's a lot harder to avoid other gods than just, oh, I'm not going to go to the temple of Zeus. Because what we fear, love, and trust is less obvious, and it can be all sorts of things. And the stereotypical answers are, right, money and power, whatever. And yes, those can be idols. For a lot of people, those are idols. What do you trust? You trust your bank account. What do you fear? You fear losing your job. What do you love? You love having power over people. Like those are answers that a lot of people will give right away. But this can also be really sneaky. These can be things like family. What do you fear more than anything else? Alienating your family. And you say, well, that doesn't sound right, because family is a good thing. Yeah, family is a good thing, but God is God. Your family is not God. Um, so if you're not going to church because you're afraid that waking your kids up is going to, like, alienate them somehow, your family has become an idol. And it can be family. It can be the sports your kids are in. It can be grades. It can be your job. Like, all of these different things can fill the role of idol if you fear, love, and trust them more than God. And that's what this first commandment, of how it applies to us today. And I do think it is harder because they are less obvious. but they're definitely still there. These other gods are definitely still there. So watch out for them. Brothers and sisters, go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.